run shit here. You just live here. Yeah, that's right. You better walk away. Go on, walk away, because I'm going to burn this motherfucker down. King Kong ain't got shit on me.
Hello,
King
everybody.
Kong ain't got nothing on me. Best line in the movie.
Thanks for tuning into The Real Boys. That was Phil Better. Phil, do you want to do the intro this episode?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, you are watching The Real Boys, where 8 movie or weird podcasters got together and decided, hey, let's review our top 5 movies. Some of them are good. Some of them, mainly Michael's and mine, are bad. But ladies and gentlemen,
I only had one bad one.
No,
you had 3.
Bad. I did not have to, in your opinion, in your horrible goatee opinion, I had 3 bad ones. I only had 1. I will admit only one.
I will
movie.
also admit to 1.
There we go. Dylan's the only one who never had a bad movie on his list. He's the director, the $10 man, $10 word man himself, and the director of this shenanigans. Guys, you are watching The Real Boys, a movie podcast that goes live every Monday and Friday, where we review crazy amounts of movies, because that's all we like to do. We like to watch movies because we're all cinephiles. Nick is following me from everywhere. I was just on Oops Caught Me Smoking. Nick was chatting away, and we had a fun time making fun of you, Mike.
Yeah, I saw that I was tagged in one of the comments, but I also didn't bother to watch.
Ow, that hurt. That hurt. We actually talked highly of your podcast and how we want to help you grow. But no more, Mike. Like bitter enemy. I'm trying to give an olive branch, and this man just throws it back in my face, similar to how Denzel got a whole bunch of olive branches thrown in his face.
Dylan, you're doing a terrible job of keeping this podcast on track.
We're talking about movies. I don't know. This is just the intro banter.
Wait, did anyone bring up that Timothy Chalamet is just fancy Edward Scissorhands?
It's only a matter of time until he picks up a prequel role for Edward Scissorhands.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's
Nick,
only a matter of time. He's already doing Wonka.
Yeah, we already talked about Dune. If you missed it, that was your fault.
Yeah, last Friday.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Dune. But anyways, moving on, because I don't want Michael to yell at me. We're reviewing I'm just every episode I expect Mike to yell at me for something, so I'm just trying to alleviate and minimize the amount of yelling I get done by him. We're watching DL Smokes, aka Dan the Man's #2 film, Training Day, with Ethan Hawke and the incredible Denzel Washington, who won an Academy Award for this. The second African American to win an Academy Award for Best Actor in a leading role. The first was wait, no, I know him. He was huge. He had a movie called Guess Who's Coming to Dinner and a whole bunch of other classic movies. Damn it, why can't I remember his name?
Guess Who's Coming to Dinner? That was
no, it was a remake with Bernie Mac and Ashton Kutcher is the
Bernie
remake.
Mac. That's who I was looking for. I knew it was one of the.
I'm talking about it's older than that.
Yeah, no,
older.
it was supposed to be a joke, but then I couldn't remember the name.
You failed horribly, Michael. I get to yell at you, Michael, now. You failed, Mike. You failed.
I was looking at his face. Going, what is this guy's name? And it was Bernie Mac.
Bernie Mac was the first ever African American to win
also,
an Academy Award.
We were just talking about wearing suits
Poitier,
and looking dapper with a bunch of like color schemes. Bernie Mac, he tried to bring that back, but
he did, and I'm sorry, he succeeded in creating a minor. It was like during the Zoot suit, the Zoot suits, the 20s were coming back, and then everybody was like, no. God, no, we do not need. This is a lot of work to dress up like this. How did they do it back then?
It is a lot of work.
Yeah.
As someone who went to a lot of ska shows in the 90s, I know that putting on a suit is a lot of work.
A Zoot suit? Did you wear the Zoot suit?
No,
Zoot
just
suit,
regular
suit. And look who we have, our personal Zoot Suit Riot himself, Zach Wiseman.
Special guest star this week, Zach
Yeah, the
Wiseman.
special guest star. You look so frazzled right now.
Dude, I am. I lost all of my stuff. I like tried to reorganize my entire like station, and I hang on a second. I don't know how to do anything right now.
You don't know how to do anything anyways.
Okay. So yeah, and then last night I was like, wait, where are my headphones? Wait, where's my microphone? And I literally lost everything. And then I turned my computer on. It's like, you got to get an update going. I'm like, no,
It's okay. The last 5 minutes and 45 seconds have just been banter back and forth. So we're
Yeah.
Me and Mike fighting as per
Yeah.
usual, talking
Oh,
about
cool.
ska and Zoot Suits and that.
Yeah,
I
we're
was
just
wondering
talking
why
about the
I-
swing,
yeah. What?
the
Wait, why
swing
am I
revival and ska shows.
Oh yeah, that was such a great part of the '90s. I'll tell you, like
It was. It
'Cause
really
you're
was.
you're like, you know what? I needed like a second pair of overalls for no reason. The suspenders? And it's like, you know, my face looks thinner.
I love how that
It's
just
probably.
stopped.
I think
It's-
it's probably
yeah.
just video compression.
and
It really
and
is.
just the way he trimmed his beard.
I did trim my beard for a more thinning look. That's true.
Yeah, no, I've
Uh,
definitely done that.
it was
No,
an
I
accidental, didn't it? Was accidental that you went too short, there, Zach.
No, I have a job now, and like I walk around. So I think
You have to look presentable. Eh?
No, I just think I'm just losing weight because I don't take breaks or anything. I just kind of keep moving.
Let's not talk about the fingerless gloves.
Let's not. Yeah, let's not talk. There
Wait,
were
hold on.
fingerless gloves. Whose
There
hand
were.
was that?
It was his. We'll check the replay later, Mike. We'll check the replay later.
It was padded. They were padded rollerblade gloves. Were you rollerblading before you came into the show?
Listen, if anybody knows me, I hate gasoline. I don't. It's a terrible thing. So I go on straight up manpower, which is why I probably look thinner because I am blading everywhere, dude.
Let's
Just like me in the 90s.
Seriously, it's like the movie Airborne. I went from the East Coast where I could surf all the time. Now I'm in Colorado, no water.
The
I'm
East
like,
Coast. The East Coast can surf. Well,
You can
it's
surf.
Yeah, you could surf in the
So
Atlantic
I'm
Ocean.
on the East
There's some
Coast and it's
turf.
really cold, so we do have a surfing spot in Montreal, but
no, you're in Canada. It's
Yeah.
different there.
no, we have surfing here.
No, it's just
Well,
ice water up
They
there.
use a
Yeah, I'll
slab
say
of
it's-
ice instead
it's
of
like-
a surfboard.
Yeah, it's gliding on tiny icebergs. I think
Yeah.
is what you guys do.
That's just called
That's not surfing?
snowboarding.
No.
def-
Snowboarding is completely different. You have a mountain for that. We iceberg. We ice surf. Iceberg
Iceberg.
surfing. That's what we do.
Wait, what are we talking about? What are
We're
we
talking
We're
about
supposed to be
training
talking
day, and
about
Phil
training
is trying
day.
to get us going.
I've been trying, but like we've been fucking derailed too much. Training
still
day.
hosting?
No, I'm not. I was just doing the intro.
Go
Oh.
for it, pal.
I'm not doing the. I have to leave like in like 20 minutes. I can't
Listen,
do the
I
full
tried
thing.
to host. I tried to sub-host last time. It was just me and you, and you gave me so much crap for talking too much.
Hey, because you do talk too much.
No,
I
feel dead air, which is what you're used to. I think.
You can sum up this movie in less than 20 minutes. I
Michael, take
guarantee you.
Michael's
take
taking
over.
over because Michael's going to
Oh,
be.
perfect.
No.
Yeah, no, Mike, you can
No,
sum up.
because
Put him
I
up.
have a
Put him at
feeling-
the top. He's
I have a
hosting, he gets the
feeling
top
that
spot.
everybody else likes this movie besides
Except
me.
you, Michael. Why do you hate this movie?
I don't hate it. It's boring. It's got a bad script. Ethan Hawke trying to act next to Denzel Washington is ridiculous. He's out of his league there. And then as I'm watching the credits, written by David Ayer comes up, and I'm like, oh, that explains it.
Yeah, David Ayer wrote this by himself specifically. Apparently, no one else was allowed to talk to David Ayer while he was writing this, and he could only speak to executives. They wanted to make sure it was one person's fingerprint only, and
Yeah.
and
You could tell it was
Yeah.
David Ayer's fingerprint.
Yeah.
Huh.
Also, like Denzel he's doing a very good job, obviously, but he's having so much fun, and it's like honestly, it'd be like playing against Michael Jordan in like a basketball, like in a backyard basketball game where you're like, I don't know how to play basketball, but I want to play you, and he's like, I'm Michael Jordan, right? So like, and he's just like dunking on you and like putting his sack on your face and stuff like they did in the '90s, but that's how it is like up against Denzel in this movie, which is his prime. Dude, like he won Best Actor for this movie, won a ton of awards for this movie, but This is him at his absolute best with a
This is
role that he
Denzel.
absolutely loves.
This
Seriously.
was Denzel at Denzel's.
This is like record breaking because obviously he's the first African American to ever win
Second.
Sorry,
I apologize.
To win 2 Academy Awards for Best Actor. Thank you, Filbert. So, like, you know, this is, and obviously Fuqua, an amazing director. This movie is good. It's good to very good. It's not great. I don't think that it could be remade again. Like, it could be made right now. It is literally in the 90s.
They tried. It's
in the 90s.
Bright.
No. Well, I guess.
Landis wishes.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Max
Tell
Landis
me I'm
wishes.
wrong.
Hey, we have a
I have
special guest star. Let's get him in here real quick.
Oh,
yeah.
DL Smokes.
It's the dude.
Dan, can
I
you
can
hear
barely
us?
see everyone. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
You got full screen, buddy. Go.
Oh wow, all the attention's on me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, I'm on my break at work right now, so I'm gonna run through this real quick. Anyways, this is my number 2 favorite movie of all time. It was either between this and American Gangster. Probably should have went with American Gangster because I like that movie better. But anyways, Training Day it's a great movie, and like I like it. It's action packed. It's pretty much good meets evil, and it's pretty much Ethan Hawke fighting a devil and angel at the same, and they're trying to listen to an angel and fighting a devil at the same time within Denzel Washington's character. So, and just the stuff that goes on in this movie is just, at the first time I saw it, like the whole bathtub scene, the heart was racing. I thought he was gonna get his head blown off. But then he pulls out the wallet, and then he had that little twist at the end where actually it saves Ethan Hawke's character. So it was a pretty good movie. And like I automatically will give it a 9, only because I love Denzel Washington. I'm a huge Denzel Washington fan. Anything with Denzel in it, I will probably give a 9. So,
Even Fences?
but anyways, real quick, how did you guys like it? Did you guys hate it? Love it? No?
I definitely didn't hate it. I like this movie. I liked this movie a whole lot when it came out. I thought it was really, really great. On the rewatch, I thought that it was clever, but I didn't like it as much. And I think because there's been so many other movies that have been kind of mimicked off of this, which is like, dude, there's this badass, lovable bad cop, good cop, just start somewhere shaking shit up. You know, there's like you've seen it so many times since. This was the peak of that style. So yeah, great movie, action packed, but it's not very outside of like 2 scenes. It's not really that memorable, you know, because it kind of just like it does lull for a little bit, and it really relies on Denzel just hamming it up. But yeah, I do like it.
I'm in agreement with Mr. Smokes himself. It's a great freaking movie. It's a 9. Like, it has the action, like he says, that you want when you need it, and I don't find it lulls enough. It moves the story just that enough, and it just makes that you want that big moment to come again. And there's a like you said, 2 memorable moments or memorable quotes, but it's still so much fun to watch, even after not seeing it like for 5 years. Like I was so excited to watch it again.
Yeah, the thing that I remembered when watching it the first time was my memory was like Denzel is just like looking this guy up and down. He's really just running him constantly, and it's like it's his movie, his thing. On the rewatch, when paying attention to it, I realized that Denzel like kind of had all this planned out from the beginning, and he's really just kind of like eyeing up, you know, Ethan Hawke to make sure that he's always where he needs him to be. And it was different, like trying to like pay attention to Denzel's performance specifically, because yeah, Ethan could have been done by it. That character could have been done by anybody. I think Tobey Maguire was up for that role. Obviously, Mark Wahlberg was up for that role. There was even Eminem was even offered that role.
Oh
but
God!
He turned it down because of 8 Mile.
That would have been interesting.
Yeah.
It would have been interesting to see Eminem act against Denzel in a kind of something that's more suited, because it's more of an, I hate the term urban, but like it's more in his niche, like what he's come from in that world, because he's used to dealing with drug dealers. He's used to dealing because of where he comes from, the 8 Mile in Detroit, right? He's used to that like criminal lifestyle. So him playing a cop, dealing with a criminal cop, he would have been like, it would have been more realistic. Kind of like 8 Mile was the perfect movie for him because it's a friggin' story of his life. He doesn't really have to act like most of.
I think because of that, Eminem would have been terrible in this, because I don't think he's a good enough actor to have pulled off the good guy role in this role, like in that Ethan Hawke role. I don't think he would have been good because he's not a great actor.
You're right. You couldn't erase him. Like when you look at the movie, it's not Ethan Hawke playing; it's a character. Whereas when you bring someone like Eminem in, one, he's not known as an actor; he's more of a celebrity in the music industry. So it's Eminem playing a character. It's not, it's that character being presented. So yeah, I can see what you got there, Mr.
And
Goatee.
even like Christian Bale was offered this role and turned it down. He just thought the role was a bit lackluster. So yeah,
he was right.
Yeah.
To be fair, yeah, Ethan Hawke's character is only redemption. Like the biggest part is near the end of the movie, like the third act, pretty much, where the first 2 acts are just Denzel. Like it's Denzel to 20.
Denzel is the only reason that I didn't absolutely hate this movie. He is I love,
at least
the
there's
way
one. At least there's one aspect of this movie he found that he liked.
It's just this movie did make me realize one thing about this podcast, though, is that we desperately need some women on this panel, because this is the broiest bunch of movies.
Well, yeah, dude, 90s David Ayer. You can't get more bro than that.
Hold on. The title of this thing is The Real Boys. So if we add the girls, we're gonna have to change the title. We can't change the title now, Mike.
I mean, I've actually thought of changing the name to like
Mr. Smokes. I have a question for you. What is your favorite scene of this movie?
Oh, it's the bathtub scene where he almost gets his head blown off in the bathtub.
Yeah,
and then it all comes full circle, and then you just see the look, the demeanor on his face. We're just like, I'm gonna kill this motherfucker.
Yeah,
and he goes out and tries to find him. So yeah.
If it's okay with everyone, I uploaded a quick clip of my favorite scene.
Oh, God.
Here we go.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to play it for you if that's okay.
Are you ready, Dylan, for another email?
Yeah, right. If I was a dealer, you'd be dead by now, motherfucker. You turn shit down on the street, and the chief brings your wife a crisply folded flag. The fuck is wrong with you? Talking about, you know what? I don't want you in my unit. I don't want you in my division. Get the fuck out my car. Go back to the valley, rookie. Poop butt ass.
Okay, now he calls him a poop butt ass.
You picked
poop butt ass. Yep.
You picked the absolute, like, I think that encapsulates the problem with this movie is Denzel being great in that scene and Ethan Hawke looking like he has nothing to do with this movie. Like he has that Mark Wahlberg confused look on his face and he's not doing anything. It's like Denzel being great, Ethan Hawke being dull as dirt, and that's the whole movie. Like
he was on
when you get a movie that's based on on people's performance, because I don't know what action movie you guys were watching. There's barely any action in this movie. There's some when it needs to be, but it's not an action movie.
Right.
So we're just mostly looking at two people talking to each other, and it's Denzel being great, talking to a brick fucking wall in Ethan Hawke, and it's annoying.
I have questions for Michael, if I may.
Yeah.
Michael, what is your opinion of Ethan Hawke as an actor overall?
He plays a boring white guy all the time. Like he always plays, he's like the guy, he's like the male Kristen Stewart. He just plays these dead-eyed characters that you.
Well, there goes
like,
our chance of ever having Ethan Hawke on this podcast. So thank you, Mike, for that.
I'll take, like, if Ethan Hawke wants to come in and defend himself against some
highly doubt
schlubby dork like myself.
Wow. There goes Denzel as well. Thank you so much.
I know he's a big fan of the show, so we'll have him on next week.
All I said about Denzel is that he's great in this, and he's like
but
the
you're
only good
attacking
thing
one
about
of
this
his,
movie.
his friends. You're attacking one of his friends.
Well, Ethan Hawke is not a good actor. Sorry.
He's been enacting a lot longer than any one of
is,
us. So
the thing is, he is a good actor, but he plays the role of someone that is not supposed to stand out. Like, and that's a weird thing because like in Gattaca, he plays the same role, and he's great in Gattaca, but every role that he's in, somebody else could have done it, and it would have been fine. Especially in this movie, up against Denzel, who is just a straight up powerhouse.
My God, Nick is actually agreeing with Mike. Fuck,
Yeah.
did the earth stop spinning?
Yeah, I don't hate Ethan Hawke, and I don't hate Kristen Stewart either. I think she's good in stuff.
She's fine.
But in this,
out DL Smokes.
Bye, DL.
Oh,
say bye, Dan.
I'm back. Sorry,
Oh,
the lights went out.
yeah, I know you got roll. Do your thing.
All right, yeah. Training Day, great movie. Loud ass car behind me, but Training Day, great movie. Go watch it if you haven't seen it already, and if you've seen it a million times, go see it another million times. It's a great movie. I loved it. Like I said, I gave it a 9. Oops, Caught Me Smoking every Saturday night, 9 p.m. EST. Real Boys every Monday night, 8 p.m. EST. Every other Friday, 9 p.m. EST, and Bet That with Dan and Jerry every Thursday at 9. I'm out. I gotta go. I'm getting yelled at.
Bye, Dan.
Bye, Dan.
Bye. Bet that.
Are you guys going to start making like thousands of podcasts for him now that he has like no? Just me.
He only
Nah,
has
okay.
2
Nope.
shows.
No, he's cool. So you know, he does his thing.
I'm not talking anymore.
Yeah,
I'm done.
Cool.
Play me out. I'm out. Actually, no, I do have to go. I have some stuff from
All right,
clients.
Phil,
and
give us your
podcasts.
outro.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening to my rambling ass talk about a movie that Michael despises because Michael hates all movies. I am, of course, Phil Better, the podcast mogul. I host a multitude of podcasts, and I'm pretty sure Zach and the goatee will decide on which one I'm doing today. But I'm doing a new project on my in my podcast group, going from $0 to $1,000 using affiliate marketing and podcasting. If you're interested in that, visit Better Podcasting Group, growthgroup.com or something like that. I don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Phil Better. Goodbye.
Bye, Phil.
The marketing genius who doesn't know the name of his own group.
Phil is starting a Ponzi scheme. I tell you, that guy, when you have enough emails, you can do literally anything. He's like, listen, I can make $10 into 10 Canadian dollars real fast, guys. Real
That exchange
fast.
rate is pretty good.
And I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, that's
if
like
gonna happen.
1073.
See, think about that. What else? What else are we going to talk about in this movie?
I mean,
Do you want to go over the movie?
sure, go for
I
it.
mean, we may as well, because I would like for somebody to make a little bit more sense out of this movie, because it's very simple, but a lot of stuff happens where I was like, I don't know that they're focusing in on the right thing during this scene.
Yeah.
There was stuff that was happening where I was like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of like I said, I didn't hate this movie.
Yeah.
I don't have as high of an opinion about it as most people do. And I feel like Denzel's character,
which was a real person,
starting at 100 and not building up, like as soon as you meet him, he's already acting like, you know, that this is going to be the bad guy of this movie.
Yeah.
I feel like a little bit more of a build up to that would have been
but
more.
This is Ethan Hawke's training day.
Yeah, I know.
It's one day.
Yeah.
One day.
That's why they call it that.
One day
Yeah.
in the life of a rookie. So you got to see it from this person's point of view, who this was based on a true story, you know. So Denzel had a character to actually portray who was a real piece of shit. Now that, you know, so the movie actually is really well focused, I'll say. Now, there is, in my opinion, it does lull a bit, and I think that it needs to lull because Ethan Hawke is going through a lot of stuff on his first day, and B, it is also the day that Denzel like is the demise of taking over. And the thing about him is he's not just a bad cop. He's a bad cop that has gotten away with everything for so long that he knows that he's just right in all of his bad decisions. So it's interesting watching him. When you see him at first, you don't like, he doesn't even look like a cop because, he's got all the jewelry on, wearing like black leather, and he is just dominating every single conversation because he has this whole day set up. So I think, especially in the rewatch, even for me, having it in my memory and then the rewatch of it, I picked up a lot more on Denzel's motives, which I thought was really, really clever, especially in the way that he's looking at Ethan Hawke the entire time. He, like I said earlier, I thought that he was sizing him up, but when on the rewatch, he's really just kind of making sure he's where he's supposed to be. But all right, well, let's just hop into it. So
and I did get that. Like, this was the first time that I watched this movie.
Yeah.
And I did get that. Like, I didn't think he was sizing Ethan Hawke up at all. Like, I knew that he was like, as soon as this guy shows me signs of not being completely on board with this fucked up shit that we're doing, I'm cutting him off. But then he also gives him like a bunch of chances to cut him off, and he just doesn't.
But Denzel needs Ethan Hawke, though. That's the thing. Like, he needs him for this whole thing because he was supposed to be murdered at the end by what's his face, by the friend. Yeah. And that's what that phone call was about when he's like, clean the bathtub, because he wanted Smiley to murder Ethan Hawke in the bathtub, But if you want to run through the quick notes, did we introduce the movie at all? Sorry, I was a little bit late in the beginning.
Yeah, we covered it up where it's pretty much, it's
all right, cool.
The fourth day on the force for Ethan Hawke with Denzel, and things go badly.
Yeah, so it's the first day of his new assignment in undercover narcotics officer in the grittiest part of LA. And the head of the unit is Alonzo Harris, who has 4 other men working for him. And today will be the day, the ride-along day with Alonzo, so he can show him the streets and see how young Jake performs under pressure. Jake meets Alonzo at a small coffee shop where Jake finds out quickly that Alonzo is a tough-talking, no-nonsense maverick narcotics officer. And I think that scene's cool. Like, it's a really good setup for who Denzel is as a character. And right away, you can see Ethan Hawke, he looks disheveled, which means he probably put a lot of thought into how that look was to be a narcotics officer on the street, to be undercover with Denzel. So I think that was a pretty cool scene, and I got no problem with it.
I think that was the most effective scene in the movie. Like, when
I disagree.
When I was watching it, I was like, oh, okay, this is what this movie is. I'm in. I was into it at that point. And yeah, I thought this was good. And Denzel, again, I think this will be the last time I say it because really it doesn't need to be repeated again, but is so good in this movie.
He's phenomenal.
Yeah,
like, he is. There's not many movies that I would rewatch just for one actor's performance. And this is the movie that I would watch for Denzel. Like, he has more interesting movies and he has better movies, but this movie, watching him just own everything about this character, about the wardrobe, the car, like everything about him in this movie is perfect. And it's crazy because he was like 8th picked for this role behind a bunch of white dudes, which I don't think would have worked as well. All right, so for the next few hours, we're taken from the ghetto to the barrio, from drug dealers to rapists. We learn a lot about Alonzo as he seems to know every bad person out there. He even lives with a girl in the ghetto and with her son. In that particular neighborhood behind his back, everyone hates Alonzo's abuse of authority. Alonzo also promises Jake that he can accelerate his promotion within the department. So, obviously, this is just the bad older cop trying to take care of the rookie cop. One of the cool things that I found out, researching this movie, was that they had the head of one of the gangs, one of the Bloods, like the head was on set the entire time. And he was the one who gave them permission to shoot in the neighborhoods and also to make sure that real gang members were part of the crew and all the extras, which I thought was, interesting to add even more attention to how Ethan Hawke was going to handle things as a really well-off white person.
Well, almost all of the extras.
True.
Terry Crews was hanging out there, and no lines out of Terry Crews, which is a crime.
Well, I mean,
back in 2001.
This was 2001.
Yeah.
Oh, huh. I thought this was 99 for some reason. This feels like a 99 movie.
It feels exactly like a 1999 movie.
Yeah, when I saw your comment about the goatees, I literally almost wrote, well, this was the 90s. And
I don't know why I was so focused on it, but once I realized that like 95% of the guys in this movie had goatees, I couldn't stop looking for them.
Yeah, and at the time, Terry Crews, he was just known as, I think, the Old Spice guy.
He had only been in The Sixth Day as a very bit part for this.
Yeah, he was. This was before that Old Spice thing. He was still a football player back then, wasn't he?
Well, this is before the Isaiah Washington took, or whatever that guy. The other guy it's before that guy took over. That guy's really funny. But Terry Crews, I think, was the original. I'm not sure about that. Either way, this was. I think
Terry Crews took over for that guy, and then they did some together. Those Old Spice ads are fantastic, but that's not what we're talking about.
They are tip top. So while driving past an alleyway, Jake sees a young girl about to be raped and yells at Alonzo to stop the car. He doesn't want to stop because that's not what he's here for. Jake jumps out of the car and rescues the girl, but not before getting into a huge fight with two men. Jake kicks their asses and he consoles the girl. Alonzo shows up and tortures the two men briefly before sending them on their way. The girl hurriedly leaves and Jake finds her wallet on the ground and absently pockets it.
Yeah, now, this 26-year-old, 14-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't like this? You weren't a fan of the scene?
It was fine.
Yeah.
It was just like I saw this woman and I'm like, whatever. I'm like, yeah, he's gonna stop her from getting raped or what. And then he's like, how old are you? And she's like 14. And I'm like, I don't think so.
Hey, it's tough out there on the streets. You know that.
That's true.
So Alonzo takes Jake to the house of his old friends of his, Roger, who's played by Scott Glenn, who is retired LAPD veteran, but is now dealing drugs on the side. They share a drink together and a few laughs. Roger asks Alonzo about his incident that happened when Alonzo was recently on vacation in Las Vegas, but Alonzo brushes it off, saying it's not a problem. And honestly, dude, watching Denzel drink is one of my favorite things. He loves that whatever was in that glass, and I thought that was just he's so cool. Denzel is so cool.
He is on like a Daniel Day-Lewis level of actor.
Yeah, like I agree. And the thing is that he has way more movies than Daniel Day. So and some of them are not very good.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's not great in everything. Like Daniel Day is great in everything, and Denzel, when he's on, he's at that level, but he also will phone it in. Like he has no problem phoning it in.
Oh yeah, he's got because his voice enough is good, So he's that guy. But even his son is a great actor, especially when you get to the really intense scenes where he sounds like Denzel again. You're like, you got it, boy. That's fun. All right, so everywhere they go, Alonzo gets away with more money or drugs by shaking down or just scaring the hell out of the bad guy. At one point, Alonzo forces Jake to smoke PCP-laced marijuana, holding a pistol to his head and telling him that if Jake had been a drug dealer or refused, he'd have been shot. That's a stupid thing to say because he obviously isn't dealing with a drug dealer, but whatever. Now, it's obvious that Jake doesn't agree with what's going on, but Alonzo explains that to protect the sheep, you need to kill the wolves. And the only way to do that is to become a wolf. So Jake smokes the weed and spends a few miles in a PCP-induced stupor. What do you think about that? Now, goatee.
Yeah.
PCP-induced stupor. I've listened to your show before, so you've been in a few of those. How does this compare?
He looked like he was sleepy. he probably should have done more research on at least what people on PCP look like, because he just looked like he hadn't slept in 20 hours. Like it was great.
It was PCP laced dank shit from what Wikipedia says. So
It was bad. It was bad Mexican weed, is what they say in the movie, right?
I know. I was kidding.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
with
was-
the
it was
stems and the
brick weed or
seeds, and
whatever.
they spend a really long time on what kind of weed it is.
Now that Nick Malati, he brings up a really good point. It would take a little bit longer than a few miles for PCP to wear off.
Yeah.
Now, Nick Malati, if you're still in the chats, will you tell us exactly how many miles it would take a PCP laced spliff to wear off? Pretty please. Okay, so they go to this lunch meeting with some big time LA judges, but about all we can make out is that they aren't exactly the most law abiding officers. So they also asked Jake about Las Vegas, and Alonzo reacts much the same way he did with Roger. He seems unconcerned. He asked the judges for a search warrant, which they grant him. Now, honestly, that scene, whatever. I do not care about that. I actually forgot about that completely, and whatever.
Is
Dylan,
that okay? So I'm sorry, but when he went in, because they did like a drug dealer in jail, and we have to go to this woman, like his house. Was he actually there to steal the money that she was yelling about? Okay.
Yeah.
So that actually
Oh,
did
yeah.
happen. And that was the money to pay for the search warrant from these crooked judges.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Like most of the rest of the day, I could probably walk about in 12 miles.
Yeah. If
All right,
you
that's
were
fair.
walking it, I think your PCP high would run off
Well,
in 12 miles,
sure.
but not in the car, not
No.
driving around in the car.
No. But you still got to walk it off, though.
Yeah.
Let's see. All right. So Alonzo and Jake meet up with the other 4 members of the unit, and armed with a warrant, they storm to a small house. The house turns out to be Rogers, who has $4 million stash away in the floorboards. Now, Alonzo and his guys plan to divide up the $3 million of the stash among themselves. Jake is very unsure of how to deal with the go down. Now, back at Roger's living room, while they discuss their plan, Alonzo tells Jake to shoot Roger. Jake refuses, and Alonzo does the deed himself, saying, quote, "It's not what you know, but what you can prove." End quote. The plan is to use one of Roger's guns to shoot Jeff in his Kevlar vest to make the act look like self-defense. When Jeff is shot, one of the bullets penetrates his vest, and he angrily begs Alonzo to call an ambulance. And Jake suddenly grabs his shotgun and holds Alonzo and his crew off, telling him that he won't play along because, Ethan Hawke's too good for that now. And Alonzo gets Jake back down when he tells him that the blood or urine test will show that Jake had used drugs and PCP, which I think is still drugs. And Jake backs up, and then the paramedics arrive, and the crime seems to go unquestioned. Now, back in Alonzo's car, Jake tells him what just occurred was murder, and Alonzo counters, saying Roger dealt drugs to kids in the neighborhood, and that since the money was dirty, it was theirs to keep. And Alonzo seems to concede at one point that Jake is still a rookie and needs time to accept Alonzo's dirty dealings. Now, this is a crazy scene, right? What do you think about this, Michael?
This is the only scene with these other cops, correct? Unless I missed something.
There's one or two, but they're very
There's
closely packed together.
I know that they talk about them a bunch, and he's like, "Oh, I have 5, guys, and you're gonna be my 6th or whatever." But
this is the first time we meet them.
Yeah, and I don't know. I just I wish I could have cared a little bit more about what was going on at this point, but I didn't.
Yeah, but I mean, he's stealing from his dude.
Yeah, it's fine, but nothing is explained in this movie like to a degree that I was comfortable with. Like, I never got explanations of why exactly we were doing this stuff. There was no build up to anything. It just happened, and then the next thing happened, and then the next thing happened. And I get that maybe since we're getting it from Ethan Hawke's side of it, he doesn't know what's going on, and that's why it's being told like that. I get it, but it was not great as far as telling a story goes. I would have liked to have known what was going on from Denzel's side, probably because I liked him and didn't like Ethan Hawke in this.
Yeah. I mean,
I actually really appreciated the way that they gave the information to us, because Ethan Hawke is supposed to be our point of view character, and we get these scenes of everybody talking around it, and nobody really confirms exactly what it is, but you get you definitely get the impression, at least I get it, that Alonzo went to Vegas. He didn't know what was going on, and he tried to do his crime stuff and wound up getting on the wrong side of the Russian mob. And now he's stealing money from people who he's kind of had a rapport with over the last few years. And he needs Ethan Hawke to be the anchor of innocence for his scheme. Where he needs this rookie to be the person along on the ride who can confirm everything that's happening because he has no pre-existing connections with any of these people. It just goes bad because Ethan Hawke has too much morals.
Yeah, I think it is cool to show it from Ethan Hawke's point of view because Denzel's been doing this for so long, and this is his almost every single day. This just happens to be the final one. But from Ethan Hawke's point of view, you almost enter Denzel and his circle the way that, like in the 13th Warrior, where like you kind of have people speaking different language around you. Like something's going on, but you don't have the information. If the audience had the information, I don't think it would have been as cool to see it go down that way. From my point of view, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely, like I said, I definitely got it. I know why they told the story like that. It was just like, it felt very...
Yeah,
it felt very jumpy as a movie. Like, this is happening, and now we're never going to talk about it again, and now this is happening, and now we're never going to talk about this again because this is happening, and then we're never going to talk about that again.
I think that is classic Ayer writing.
And that's why it's bad.
That's fair.
Like, it's corrupt LA cops is his whole thing. It's like shit that happens with corrupt LA cops. I don't know if you guys saw his more recent the Schwarzenegger movie where they're corrupt LA cops. Fucking sucks. It sucks so bad.
Wait, is that the one where they pull all the money through the toilet?
Yes. Yep. Yeah, it sucks so bad. It's one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
There is a obvious 5 minutes missing in that movie in the middle because they pull this money out and they go, no one's going to know about this. And then the next scene, it's 10 years later and everyone's like, remember when you guys stole all that money? I'm like, wait, what? But David Ayer, watch the Suicide Squad, whatever.
I mean, like I said, when the credit popped up written by David Ayer, I was like, oh, this makes perfect sense. Like the whole movie made perfect sense as soon as I saw who it was written by.
Yeah. All right, so knowing that he's been set up by Alonzo, Jake desperately tries to fight his way out, but Smiley and his guys take him down, and they drag him into the bathroom, and just as they're about to shoot him in the head, one of them decides to take his wallet first. Out of the pocket comes the pink wallet he recovered from the rape scene earlier that day, and Smiley furiously asks Jake how he got the wallet. Jake tells him that he stopped his cousin Letty from being assaulted and raped earlier. And Smiley calls Letty and she confirms Jake's story. Smiley decides to let Jake go as a solid for rescuing his cousin. I like Smiley. I mean, that's it, right?
The actor, I don't remember his name off the top of my head. I thought he did a fantastic job playing that, like, because when Ethan Hawke sits down, you're like, this is shady. And you can tell based on Smiley's performance, he knows it's shady. And he's sizing Ethan Hawke up the entire time. Cliff Curtis, thank you, Nick.
Right on.
Nick Malati, also known for playing Fire Lord Ozai in The Last Airbender.
Great actor.
But
Lord. He's also the terrorist in that Schwarzenegger movie where Jamie Lee Curtis dances around the bedpost.
Freaky Friday?
No, True Lies.
Freaky Friday. I like the scene, and it's mostly based on his performance and Raymond Cruz, who people know mostly as Tuco from Breaking Bad. He's doing the Tuco thing like 15 years before Breaking Bad was a thing.
Yep, love that guy too.
I think I was wrong about that first scene being my favorite one. Everyone who's in this house during this scene is doing a bang up job, and this is, I think, the only time. And maybe it's because he's not next to Denzel at this point. But Ethan Hawke is way better in this scene. Like, you can tell that he knows what's going on. Like, he looks like he's scared when they're in the bathtub. He's just better here. And again, I don't know if that's just because he's not up against Denzel in that. But he is more on an even playing field as to who he's going up against.
Yeah. I mean, as an actor, he actually has something to do in the scene. Yeah. But I think as a character, this is when I think he learns that he's part of like a big thing. Like I think that this is the point where he realized through like reminiscing of past conversations that I'm in something that I didn't realize I was in, and I think that's why this scene to me was so cool. So Jake hops the bus and heads out to the worst part of South Central area where Alonzo is living and confronts him just as he's packing up his millions to give to the Russians. For the next 10 minutes or so, there's a shootout in the house, on the roof, and in the streets of the neighborhood. Now, finally, Jake forces Alonzo to crash his car, temporarily knocking Alonzo out.
Can we talk about the shootout in the apartment where this little 3-year-old kid is not reacting to this gunfire that's going on around him?
That sucks. Yeah. That says a lot about this neighborhood.
That's what I sort of thought at first. I was like, oh, this is this kid showing that, this is sort of a normal thing that goes on. But I don't think that was the case because
I don't know.
The woman is reacting. I don't know her name, but she's good too. She's in like 3 scenes, but she's very good. She's reacting the way you would react to a gunfight going on in your house. But I just think this kid didn't, I don't know if they didn't want him to be around that, to be scared as a kid, but there's never been a gunfight in this apartment before because the mother's reaction is telling me that.
I don't know. I mean, Fuqua is a pretty detailed director, and I think that it would say something if that were the case, which I can't back that up. So, but yeah, that's fine.
I had both of those thoughts. I had both of the thoughts. I thought that it was just a bad kid actor, or that he was showing off that this is something that happens. But either way, it was weird. If the woman's reaction would have been more downplayed, it probably would have been more effective as showing that that's just the sort of thing that happens around here. But the difference, again, it was all a difference of levels of things. Just like Ethan Hawke to Denzel, the kid's reaction to the mother's reaction just sort of showed off that we weren't getting the same performances out of people.
Yeah.
And that's all I had to say about that. It was just funny to watch a kid not react to a gunfight going on in his house right next to his head.
The kid, just hanging out. The kid's doing his thing.
Yeah, kids being kids.
So Jake drags Alonzo from the car and holds him at gunpoint. And when he recovers, he and Jake face each other in the street with all the gang members surrounding them. Alonzo offers to make whomever shoots Jake a very rich man, but the gang members, tired of Alonzo's ego and control of them, refuse. Jake walks off with the money, leaving a shouting Alonzo to whatever fate awaits him. Alonzo now I gotta say, this is such a cool scene. Now, obviously this is a movie scene, and with like the whole community, but there's something just so powerful about this scene and how Denzel is so, you can see that he's starting to get a little scared, and you can see that he's obviously losing control. And I love his acting in here, because he's even like, you're going to go to prison and you're going to have shoe duty, and you know who I am. And obviously like the King Kong's got nothing on me line is so just perfect and improv, which is cool. But just, it just came from like his chest, and he is such a good actor. And Mike, you got to stop saying that. Now Alonzo gets into his car and drives towards the airport, and his car is forced to a stop by several vans, and out jumps the armed Russians, who kill him in a hail of gunfire.
Once again, I'm going to ask to go back to that scene in the neighborhood where Denzel is outside of his car yelling at Ethan Hawke while he's walking away. And yes, it great acting, and exactly what you said. You could tell that he was getting scared, and that he knew that he was about to, face the consequences of years of doing what he's been doing. And you could see that on his face. But the fact that it's Denzel and his like neighborhood turning against him for this white guy gave me like a white savior thing that I just wasn't quite comfortable with.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
sure.
so. I mean, I don't know if Ethan Hawke technically saved the day, but yeah, I can get that. I really can't fight
Yeah.
that one.
And
That's fair.
I was thinking, I don't know why I do this, but I'm always like, you know who would be good in this is this person, and then I can't get it out of my head, and then like it makes me dislike the person that I'm looking at more. So for some reason I had the thought, man, it would be cool if Wesley Snipes was the Ethan Hawke character. And I was like, and then the more I thought about it, the more I'm like, God, I hate Ethan Hawke so much in this movie. And it's just because he wasn't Wesley Snipes, and there's no Bruce Campbell, obviously.
Bruce Campbell would have been interesting.
I don't think it would have worked as well with Bruce Campbell. He takes up too much scene.
He takes up too much space.
Yeah, his chin just takes up too much camera space.
Nick Malati always thinks everything would be better with Bruce Campbell, and he's right. Bruce Campbell could have played that Terry Crews role.
That's true.
You wouldn't? Would you want Bruce Campbell to be in a movie and not talk?
No, I mean obviously not, but I also don't want Terry Crews in a movie where he doesn't talk.
Yeah, he was so much more like my daughter only knows. That's true.
I believe Bruce Campbell knows what PCP is like.
Yeah, I think like
100%.
I just watched Evil Dead 2 again not that long ago. And yeah, he definitely would have been better in that PCP scene than.
Yeah, that's fair. I think anybody would have been better in that scene. I was really hoping for something cool out of that scene on the rewatch, and I was really let down.
Yeah, it was nothing.
And I think that for some reason, after Denzel dies, I thought this movie should have ended. But when Jake arrives home, we hear newscasts describing the killing of a highly decorated narcotics officer who was gunned down while investigating drug trafficking at the airport. Yeah, it's a good movie. Now, the original script, Alonzo wasn't supposed to. He was supposed to survive, and apparently Denzel was like, "Look, I'm not having that. Like, this guy has to die." Which is, I guess, cool. That Denzel's like, "Nah, change the ending."
Yeah, and then David Ayer went on a 20-minute long tirade on YouTube about how his original vision got changed and how.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. That's just something that David Ayer would do.
Yeah, 100%. And then Todd Phillips is like, "I heard you, bro. I heard you, bro."
Yeah, man.
All right, so I have a little quiz lined up for you guys.
Oh boy,
this movie, if that's okay. So this is on funtrivia.com. There is 10 questions about Training Day, and let's see if you guys remember this movie as well as funtrivia.com does. So number one, at the start of the movie, what time does Jake's alarm go off? Is it 4 a.m., 7 a.m., 6 a.m., or 5 a.m.?
I know the answer.
4?
5 a.m.
I'm going to go with 5 a.m. Now, I don't know if that's right or not, actually. We'll find out later. We're going to go with 5, though. Number 2. Now, when Alonzo... where does Alonzo want Jake to meet him at when he calls? The coffee shop? He doesn't know Alonzo tells him when he'll pick him up. Alonzo's office, and outside of the donut shop.
Chuck E. Cheese.
Not an answer. You know that.
Oh, trick question.
Nope.
Donut shop?
Dylan, do you agree? Donut shop?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, they are cops.
They are cops. That's true. Number 3. Where is Alonzo's office located? Is it at the station, at the coffee shop, at Alonzo's house, or his car? Gentlemen?
It's his car.
Car?
Good answer. Number 4.
Thrilling.
Finish. We'll get there. Trust me. Finish the quote. Alonzo says, "Why do you want to be a narc?" And Jake says, "To make
you poo butt ass."
Yeah.
Yeah. Or is it chief, deputy, sheriff, or detective?
Detective. That one I know. That one I know is right.
Dylan disagrees. Number 5. Where does Alonzo usually keep his police badge? Around his neck, in his pocket, in his sock, or in his wallet?
Wallet? Is that a Pokemon?
It's in the sock he keeps around his neck.
I'm from Delaware. Number 6. What is Jake's last name? Is it Hutt, Hoyt, Hill, or Hoyle?
Peralta.
Hoyle.
He made it. He made it
Thank
to
you.
detective.
Doesn't make any sense in this setting here. Number 7. Who is the famous rapper? What?
Snoop Doggy Dogg. Hell yeah, son.
Nice.
I
Number
was
8.
so excited to see
Yeah.
him in this movie.
He was
Eminem.
cool. Dre was also cool. 8. How old was the girl with the 2 crackheads tried to rape?
14.
14.
25.
Love it.
She was 26, but she was playing 14.
It's fair. Number 9. Who was Alonzo in debt for $1 million to? The Italians, the Russians, the police, or the bank?
Epic Games because he bought too much stuff on Fortnite.
Dude, Dylan is at 100% right now. Now, 10. What happens to Alonzo at the end of the movie? He gets away, flies an airplane, and goes to prison, and is shot to death.
He flies in an airplane over the Nevada desert with Nicolas Cage and Dave Chappelle is there and Steve Buscemi is there and who else is there? It's Con Air. It's Con Air.
Yeah, no,
John
we got that.
Malkovich. He's the one I was trying to think of.
All right, you guys, you did pretty well. I will say that the only one of the 10 that you said you definitely knew was
no.
Right, the deputy was incorrect. The answer was detective.
I said detective. I didn't say deputy.
You definitely said deputy.
No,
but anyway, yeah, you guys got 4 of those 10 right. And for all those questions, please, you can just go to Dylan's blog.
Yes.
And he'll get to that very soon. But okay, let's get to reels and final thoughts of this movie. Like I said, for me, I think that this, although I thought it was a 99 movie, which says a lot about what this.
Okay, cool. It works.
All right, I'm into that.
That's why I'm growing my hair out, because I want to be able to do that.
You want to get off a prison bus in the wind of Arizona?
Yeah. I'm also bald at the top. See, unlike Dylan, I'm like balding at the top, like Nick Cage is there. So
yeah,
that's exactly the look I'm going for.
Yeah. Also, unlike Dylan and unlike Goat Tea, I don't have any hair. So that's why I wear a hat. But yeah, I think this movie's fine. It's just aggressively fine. I think that it's done better later, like in the show The Shield. Even there was a spin-off show called Training Day that had Bill Paxton in it, but unfortunately, due to his passing, they didn't have a second season of that.
That was also written by David Ayer.
Yeah, well, obviously. And there is talks of a prequel movie about what Denzel's character was up to right before this day. I don't care about that really. Honestly, unless Denzel's in it or his son.
He won't be.
Orientation day.
It's just him watching training videos.
Yeah, hazing day of Denzel. Yeah, I'm gonna say this movie's a solid 7. Like, there's really nothing wrong with it. It's not too long. Well acted. I think that there's enough in it that it is entertaining on the rewatch. And Denzel is an absolute just sparkle of a human being. And I think that if you rate this movie less than 6 because of Denzel, you are an absolute scumbag. So I'm going to say 7 out of 10 reels for me. And yeah, if you want to see me or hear me, check out anything Some Nobodies does. Most important things are things that Dylan writes, such as Silicon Angels. Please check that out. We're desperately working hard on season 2 of that. We're going to take this month off because Dylan is writing something very cool, and we're not going to talk about that. But yeah, check out Silicon Angels. That's it. Next.
I'll go.
Me?
No, Michael, you said it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm the scumbag who's giving this movie a 4, and it's
4.
For the writing. It's just too
4. This is an Academy Award.
Or I'm sorry, I gave it a 5. I'm giving it a 5. I know, and Denzel's great in it, and that's literally the only thing I liked about it. So he gets all 5 of those reels. Like everything else around it is I'm never going to watch this movie again. I don't feel any reason to watch this again. I like a lot of Denzel Washington's movies. I can watch a good performance in a movie that I like. This one I do not like. It is
But
like,
King
and if I
Kong's
want to
got
watch a
nothing
David
on him.
Ayer movie, I'll watch that one with Kurt Russell, which has more better actors than just the one.
Wait, what movie's that?
I don't remember the name of it, but it's another corrupt LA cop movie, and it has Kurt Russell in it.
Escape from LA?
No, he wishes he could write something as good as Escape from LA.
Yeah, no, I agree with that 100%. Is he a corrupt cop?
No, he's just a straight up criminal in that movie.
Yeah, he's just a straight up criminal.
Yeah.
Those escape movies are great. Anyway,
Great.
On Jack Billings Presents Haunted Apartment Complex, we are starting to tie in things from the Me and My Neighbor Michael universe. The first thing that we're going to tie in that comes out tomorrow is Jack Billings porno called Beef It Into My Mouth.
Yeah.
We have
Classic.
stuff in the works with Marcus Fiasco, who is a wizard who lives in the building. He's going to be voiced by someone that you know. We also have an episode in the works starring the ghost of Adam Lynch, who is the Reading, Ohio butt stabber. And that will also be voiced by someone that you know. Both of those are on this panel right now. I won't tell you which one is which.
I'm Zach.
I'm going to stab you in the butt.
And then
he's been practicing saying that a lot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, there's a reason he's not the butt stabber,
I
because
missed the audition.
the amount of enthusiasm that just was not up to standard. But over on Generation Clash, we are getting into some weird bands. It was Paramore last Thursday. The next episode coming up is satanic ska band Mephistopheles. So that'll be fun.
Oof, man,
I'm gonna look those up right now and
Jesus into some
later
weird
tonight.
stuff.
And then
wait, what did you think of Paramore?
I liked Paramore a whole bunch. I really like Hayley Williams' voice. Otherwise, it's very like straight up pop. You know, it's sort of like 80s synthy pop was the new stuff that we listened to. And then the older stuff is like pretty generic, like almost grunge. But Hayley Williams' voice puts them, head and shoulders above a lot of those types of bands.
Cool.
That, and then on I Love This Terrible Game, we're also getting weird ideas for that. We're going to start doing episodes where somebody who's never played a game series is going to tell a person whose favorite game series how that series goes. The person who doesn't know what it is and never played the games is going to tell the lore to the person who loves that game series. So it's going to be...
You got to make it up?
Yeah, we're going to make it up. It's going to be sort of like a No Time to Binge type thing, but with video game lore.
Love it.
No time to play.
Yeah, so we have... There's nothing I do besides the Real Boys that isn't, crazy and original in some form. Otherwise... Yeah, so check out all of those. Follow me on Twitter, my neighbor MICH1, and I post all my stuff there.
Hell yeah.
Cool. And I'm Dylan. I'm also doing some Nobody stuff with Zach. You can find stuff I write for it at what he said, Silicon Angels, CYOP Appeal, where I wrote this sprawling thing that Zach organized and got everything figured out. Go check it out. It's a create your own adventure podcast. It's very good.
It's very cool. You can get eaten by a bear in it.
Yeah.
You can travel through time in it. I think you fall out of an airplane in one, or am I thinking of something different?
I'm not going to spoil that.
I haven't looked recently. There's like one hidden episode in there, and I was wondering if anybody like happened to find that one.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
Is that the one where you get tied to the chair and then somebody smacks your balls with a tennis racket?
No, it's just Tuesday.
That's the one where you that's the one where you go in like that weird hatch and you find that like pirate ship that's haunted by some neurodivergent person that apparently you can make fun of in the 80s. But no, that's the Goonies. I was just kidding. Go ahead, Dylan.
No, I'm giving this movie a straight 7, same as Zach. This was the first time I had watched it. I liked it. I thought it was a fine kind of like corrupt police movie, elevated obviously by Denzel and some of the performances, but anything you can get from this movie except for that performance you can get elsewhere, probably done a little more compelling. Yeah, so 7 from me. And of course you can find me elsewhere. I'm on Twitter at VorpalWords and Instagram at the same name. And I am keeping up with I'm doing National Novel Writing Month this month, where you try to write a 50,000 word novel in 30 days. So I am at just over 2,000 words today. So I am slightly ahead of the game. So,
and I have forbidden him from writing anything that is some Nobody's related during the month of November, and also
I have public
forbidden him from
accountability
shaving his mustache that he's been growing for 15 years now.
Yeah,
that mustache is so big and bushy.
You can check it out on the Real Boys YouTube channel if you want to see Dylan's unbushy mustache. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Oof.
Yeah.
Bush.
Oh, there
okay,
it is.
listen.
Yeah.
So,
okay,
Monday, we're going to be back next Monday with Chris Harvey's number 2 favorite movie, The Lion King, which I'm pretty sure is it's the animated one from '92.
Hasn't given a straight answer.
I haven't heard from Chris Harvey in months, and I am watching the remake. So if that's not the one that he intended, then he can let us know. But otherwise, I'm going to judge Chris Harvey's number 2 movie on the remake of The Lion King.
All right. Now keep in mind the remake is longer than the animated one, even though it's shot for shot. So go for it. And there's 2 more songs, which is
God,
weird.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, they got rid of the Nazi hyenas.
Yeah, that's true. And the songs are not good. But either way, if you want to hear us talk about The Lion King, most likely half of us talking about the animated one, one of us talking about some other one, and one of us aggressively not showing up. Please come to the show next Monday. I don't know. But yeah. So
Chris has confirmed it's the original. In the fastest response I've ever seen from him.
Yeah. He's like, oh shit, I thought I hit send. The original Lion King. I love it.
Yeah, the 1948 version.
Perfect.
Is it the anime that Disney ripped off the Lion King
Kimba?
from?
That story's too long to talk about on this episode.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, you can check that out Monday. And then we have
doing Rubber next Friday.
Will be the next Friday, special edition. So,
and I wish that the Real Boys would show up for this Friday one, because I would like to hear everyone's opinions on what I think is an absolute masterpiece of a movie, which is one of the weirdest things I've ever seen.
You're going to show up for an episode. Rubber is the episode to show up for.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, if you hear what that's about, you're like, what? But trust me.
It sounds really stupid, but it's not about what the descriptions say it's about.
No, it is an absolute masterpiece, and I would love to hear DL Smokes what he thinks about it on his podcast, such as Oops Caught Me Smoking and Bet That with his friend Jerry and Smith, who what? Are we not doing that?
He already did his plugs.
Well, I was just gonna do everybody's at the end. But it was a tie together because they're doing a show together. Bet that. Bet that. Bet that. Anywho, Jerry Smith, Cloud Chronicles, and Bet That, which is easily my favorite title for a show that I will not know anything about because it's sports and whatever. You can also find Chris Harvey at random bonanzas, waiting in line for fresh biscuits while giving people jokes at the Atlanta area. You can find Justin Wallace on Animation Anime.
Dude, that's a better. That's the second week in a row that somebody's come up with a better name for that show.
But it's a great show. Justin Wallace is great. And you can also find Phil Better on one of his, which I think are all roughly the same podcast. But you can find them over any one of the podcasts in the Phil Better network, such as Dylan. Which one did you find recently?
Listen to Me Count to a Million. It's great.
he just does one. The problem is he just does one number per episode.
Yeah.
He's just trying to bump those numbers up.
He did a Halloween special where he does count to 1 million, but I didn't have time to listen to the whole episode, so I don't know if he made it.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, the best thing about it, they're fast though. They're quick episodes. You can just get through them.
But the problem where he did count to 1 million is I think like he was going 45, 46, 71, 103.
Well, I mean, look,
it didn't sound like he was actually saying all the numbers.
He does tell people he's French Canadian, so who knows how that's supposed to sound? Like, honestly, you can also find Phil Better. At which one did you find, Mr. Goatee?
I'm still obsessed with his YouTube channel. That just has his webcam on the floor showing his bare feet while he's doing his other podcasts. It's the one that's called Feel Better Feet.
Yeah. That wasn't good. That wasn't.
Yeah,
you keep sharing that with me, and I refuse to open it. So
I mean, you should see it because first of all, the thing about it is, it's not. He doesn't have sexy feet. Mm-hmm. He has like these like huge overgrown thick nails, and there's like visible fungus all over everything, and they're like. The soles are just covered in dirt because I don't think he wears shoes.
Well, if you ask him about it, he said that mucklucks are so expensive anymore. So if he just grows those claws out, he could just grip into the icebergs.
Okay.
Because, he's got to get uphill both ways.
I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense. But at the same time, I don't know why I keep watching it. It's like, it's just the same thing because he never moves the camera. He's always just like standing there. He doesn't do anything fun with his feet. He's never holding, a pencil in it and writing with it.
Yeah.
But instead,
it's on the come up.
Instead, what you should do is watch the Real Boys YouTube channel because, especially in this one, we have a looped GIF of Nicolas Cage's hair blowing in the wind, and
I believe it's pronounced jife.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Cage. It's his last name.
Nicholas Jife.
I guess. Anyway, that's it for the show, guys. That's it. We like this movie. It's fine. It's 7.4 for total. Real Boys. Whatever. Check us out next Monday. Dylan, you can play that music.
All right, let's get out of here. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Drop these. Everybody drop these. Everybody drop these. Everybody drop these. Everybody.
He wants to go off road.
You ain't gonna shoot that shot when you get the lane?
No, he was right on my ass, man.
You wide open.
Who wrote this? I did. Ask him if he got the letter.
Did you get the letter?
What letter?
What's up, man? About to catch a fade, huh?
Hello. My name is Inigo Montoya. Living dead.
Drop these. Everybody.
Let the heat flow.